We're going to dive into a Bears mailbag in just a few moments, but hey, sometimes we can't answer all your questions. You can ask me them on Twitter at HGramNFL, and there's plenty of reasons to follow me on Twitter. I'm posting daily Bears news, updates, analysis. Obviously, we're posting multiple videos per day here on the channel, but if you follow me on Twitter, you're going to get a lot of your other smaller news and information in real time. Go give me a follow at HGramNFL on Twitter right now. My name is Harrison Graham, and we got Chris Lopez kicking off this Bears mailbag. He says, if someone offers you a first-round pick for Justin Fields right now, are you taking it? Right now, I actually don't think I am. Look, if he lays an egg against Minnesota and Vegas and a first-round pick's on the table, I'd consider it at that point, but I'm finally potentially seeing the fruits of the labor kind of come together here, so I got to see more. Like, sure, there could be a scenario where you pass on that and you regret it, but you already have 2 first-round picks. Like, keep evaluating the quarterback. He's playing well. Last 2 weeks looks really good. If you play like this the rest of the season, you'd get much more than just a first-round pick if you did want to trade him. So I think right now, Chris, I'd actually have to say no to that question. Pay Chris Jones on, and Young Dexter's playing great. Okay, so earlier on our live show, Tito said something about pay Chris Jones because he's a free agent. He said C. Jones. I was like, are you talking about Chandler Jones? I didn't put that together. I forgot Chris Jones is a free agent after this year. That'll be interesting to follow in Kansas City because obviously they got him back on the field this year, but it's not like they came to terms on a long-term deal. So you do wonder if this is going to be his last season with the Chiefs. We'll see. I would pay Chris Jones. I know he's going to be 30, but he is still a damn good player. We got F. Marsh in the chat. He says, would you trade Darnell Mooney and a 4th-round pick for Jerry Jeudy? That's an interesting idea because there's a lot of thoughts out there. Is Jeudy worth a 2nd or a 3rd while Mooney in a 4th? Is that a compromise? Well, let's look at the contracts first. So Jerry Jeudy for next year, since the Broncos did opt into his 5th-year option, is set to make just under $13 million for next season. So that's not bad, right? For a number 2 type of receiver. He's not a number 1, but obviously here he wouldn't need to be because you have DJ Moore. Whereas Darnell Mooney is a free agent, and you know, unless he's terrible the rest of the year, I could see him getting money in the realm of $10+ million from a team. I like Darnell. Jerry Jeudy's probably more highly regarded, even though his career hasn't certainly lived up to being a first-round pick. So it's an interesting idea here. Quick trade idea cooking up here. Jerry Jeudy for Mooney in a 4th, or this is just rehashing the question here. Would you make the trade? Type T for trade or P for pass? It's tough. Like, can Jeudy connect with Fields on the fly, whereas Mooney already knows the playbook and everything? I don't know. The reason I would be tempted, though, is because Jerry Jeudy does have that 5th-year option of team control, so you could evaluate him through next year. Let me know what you guys think, T for trade or P for pass. DC Viper, could the Bears make a trade for Tee Higgins or Hunter Renfrow at the trade deadline? I'm not that interested in Hunter Renfrow. He's kind of expensive for a player that hasn't done much the last season and a half. Tee Higgins I like a lot, but Cincinnati's going to want a first-round pick. I'm not in the business of trading a first-round pick right now, so I don't think that trade would be available. Caleb here. Let's say we get the number 1 pick. How far do we want to trade down? I feel this draft isn't as loaded as last year. I would still want to stay in the top 5, I think, because let's say Caleb Williams and Drake May are 2 of the top 5 picks. Well, you're guaranteed if you stay in the top 5, one of Marvin Harrison, Olu Fashanu, Brock Bowers, Jared Verse. You know, one of those players is there with Bowers, Olu, and Marvin Harrison kind of being your top 3 blue chip non-quarterback prospects in this draft. So I don't think I'd do what Poles did last year where he traded down all the way to like 9. I would still want to stay in the top 4 or 5 so I could get Olu or Marvin Harrison ideally. Jimothy Jim Jam, if the Bears find themselves in position to trade the number 1 pick, can you afford to turn down an out-of-this-world Vikings offer to avoid having Williams in the division? I would not trade the number 1 pick to a divisional team. Detroit wouldn't be in the business for trading that pick anyway, at least I don't think. Minnesota would be, and I would not trade it to them, and I definitely wouldn't trade it to Green Bay. So you cannot trade a pick of that caliber with a quarterback of Caleb Williams' caliber within the division. Producer Rowley wants to chime in here.
What if they offered you Justin Jefferson and picks?
Justin Jefferson and like 2 firsts? I mean, I guess I consider it at that point.
I mean, DJ Moore, Justin Jefferson with a couple first-round picks plus Fields, and we can cook.
I trading the number 1 pick to a divisional team, that's ballsy. That's ballsy. That's all I got to say. What's not ballsy is getting good, healthy food in a timely manner. It's just fun. It's easy. It's convenient. That's what Factor is going to provide for you. America's number 1 ready-to-eat meal kit will deliver you food straight to your doorstep. You'll save time, you'll eat well, and you'll stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Maybe you're too busy running around during the day to think about lunch. Well, keep up your energy with lunch on the go. Effortless wholesome meals like grain bowls, salad toppers that are ready to eat when you're on the go. No microwave required. Maybe you're looking for calorie-conscious options during the busy season. Well, you can try Factor's delicious, dietitian-approved, calorie-smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per serving. Tons of different meal options for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with Factor, and they're going to deliver these meals straight to your doorstep, and it takes 2 minutes or less to prepare all these because, well, they're already prepared. You just either got to throw them in the microwave or stir them up real quick, get them ready to go. So here's what you do. Go to factormeals.com/BearsChat50. Use our promo code BearsChat50 to get a 50% deposit, or 50% off, I should say, at checkout. That's code BearsChat50 at checkout when you go to factormeals.com/BearsChat50 to get 50% off. That link is in the comments and to the description of this video. Enjoy easy meals with Factor today. The Gabo, if the draft is next week, would you trade the number 1 overall pick? God, that's hard to answer. I think if it was literally next week, like let's say it's before this Minnesota game, I think I have to draft Caleb Williams. Don't kill me for that, but like we've seen 2 awesome games from Fields in a row. 2. If it was a month from now and it was 6 straight awesome games, I'd feel very differently. And for the record, I am Team Fields. I want him to be the guy. You guys know that. But if I'm running an organization, I think I'd have to make that pick. I just think I'd have to. Now, I would listen to trade calls. I would see what packages were offered. But I would consider everything. That's the best way I could answer that, Gabe. Carolina, what are your thoughts on taking Marvin Harrison Jr. and whatever edge rusher is left after a potential trade down? I mean, I like it. Assuming you're comfortable going forward with Fields, if you've made that decision as a franchise, take MHJ, draft an edge. That's certainly an option on the table. Maybe your own pick, or you trade down to like 3 or 4. You take MHJ, and then your own pick is maybe it's around 10 or something. You take Jared Verse or Dallas Turner, whatever. I would certainly be open to that. Okay, Nicholas Selvey. Which QB prospect do you think is better, Williams or May? It's Caleb Williams. And I like Drake May a lot. I think there are things Drake May does better than Caleb Williams. I think his deep ball accuracy is better. And he might be slightly better overall in the pocket. I just think Williams does so many other things well. Like he's so good off platform. He's when he gets out of the pocket, I think he's better. But May's good in those areas too. Like I don't think the gap is actually as massive as people think. I do like Caleb Williams more, but I think Drake May is really good. Subscribe to the channel. I'll tell you what, as these rumors continue to circulate, we're going to have you covered. Join the family here at Bears Now by Chat Sports. We're trying to get to 77,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Sub for Bears Dubs. Hopefully Justin Fields keeps balling, the Bears keep winning, and we don't have to talk about these scenarios quite as much, but it's what we do. It's part of the job. Hit that sub button. Let's go. Ethan Hansen, if we get the first round number 1 pick from Carolina and have ours as the top 5, what are your thoughts on trading 1 to Tennessee if their pick is 8-15 range for Jeffrey Simmons and another first, 1 or 2 firsts? I mean, that's interesting, right? Like that would be kind of the DJ Moore trade approach, right? Where you trade a little further down, like Chicago did to number 9, to get a premier player like DJ Moore. Trade down to like you say, 8-15, get Jeffrey Simmons, 8 to 15 plus a future first. It's interesting. that would certainly help your defensive line out. You would have 2 picks in the top 15 still, so it's an interesting scenario. I would definitely consider it. William Brockgay, should we play the rookie defensive tackles more? I do think Javon Dexter has earned more playing time. And we saw him play more last week. He had 6 pressures per Pro Football Focus. I think he's starting to figure some things out. I haven't seen a ton from Zach Pickens, so I'm definitely not playing him over Andrew Billings. But I think Dexter over Justin Jones a little bit more is certainly something you could talk me into pretty easily. Joe, sports fan, Bears lose, Eberflus gone. What if Jefferson-less Vikings blow out Chicago? I mean, if you get blown out at home against the Vikings team without Jetta, the Fire Flus train is absolutely back on. Like, you definitely can't get blown out. Is there a scenario where you could lose and you look back and you're like, okay, like, it's not the worst loss of all time, but if they come in and annihilate you in your home building after you finally won a game without Justin Jefferson, that's going to be a pretty tough look. I don't know if he'd get fired on the spot, but the, oh crap, this coach actually is not good discussion would pick back up very, very quickly. Who you got in this game on Sunday? Type CHI for the Bears or MIN for the Minnesota Vikings. I'm leaning Bears right now with Jetta out. I do think it'll be a close game, though, and just because Jetta's out, I don't think it'll be easy. MK Murphin, Muffin. Which wide receiver would you trade for that is not from the Broncos? I mean, I don't know if I'm making a big splashy trade. Like, I mean, I know McCole Hardman's out there, but like, what's the difference between him and Velus Jones? He's more proven than Velus, but the skill set is similar. We saw Van Jefferson get traded. I mean, if the Bucs lose a couple games, could they kind of shift back to consider trading Mike Evans? I don't think they're going to do that. I think they think they can make a playoff run. So I'm not sure a wide receiver trade is all that likely, to be honest. JJ, Fields finishes strong, and we still draft Caleb. Your thoughts? I mean, it all depends. Like, finishing strong may not be convincing enough to think he's the long-term guy. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. How many games did he win? How good was he in the fourth quarter with the game on the line? There's a lot that factors in because Fields is entering year 4 next year, whereas if it's Caleb Williams, you're resetting with a rookie quarterback, the clock in terms of when you have to pay one. So a lot of factors, man. A lot of factors. Matt G, I think Justin needs to take us on a deep playoff run this year in order to not take Caleb Williams. I'm sorry, I love Justin, but what do you think? A deep playoff run? I mean, if he played well and this team rallied to make the playoffs, that would be pretty unbelievable at this point, no? Started 0-4? Like, if he got you to 9-8 and you made the playoffs, and he played well along the way, like threw for 3,700 plus and 30 plus touchdowns, like, that's a pretty damn good turnaround, man. Like, I don't think he has to go on a deep playoff run. But, look, regardless of what it looks like, if the Bears get the number 1 pick, drafting Caleb Williams will be discussed in that building. I promise you. It will be discussed. There is no doubt about it. Appreciate all your questions. If you didn't get them answered, you know where to find me. Twitter, @HGramNFL, right there. You can hit me up if you have any Bears, NFL, other questions. Always down to chop it up @HGramNFL. Appreciate you guys. Go find me over there.